31-year-old Yuma Border Patrol agent Ramon Marquez is seen in several photos assisting with the leadership of local youth in the Border Patrol Explorer program operated by the Welton Border Patrol Station. Marquez is currently under investigation for alleged sexual misconduct involving a minor.
There is one victim at this time, and it's a 16-year-old female.
Yuma police said it was the Border Patrol that notified them about a possible inappropriate relationship involving one of their agents. Investigators found enough evidence to support the allegations.
Yesterday morning, they went and located him and placed him under arrest.
Marquez was arrested on 5 felony charges connected to sexual exploitation and misconduct involving a minor. We reached out to U.S. Border Patrol for information about Marquez's current status as an agent and whether any of the alleged misconduct occurred while he was on duty. That information was not provided, but in a statement, an official said the agency upholds honor and integrity and that the vast majority of its agents perform their duties with distinction. They said Marquez is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Marquez was taken into custody, but he has since posted bond, which was set at $50,000. He's expected back in court later this week. Reporting live in Yuma, Alexandra Rangel, Arizona's Family.